environmental war will require a commitment far beyond any commitment ever made by any society in the history of man. Are we able? Yes. Are we willing? That's the unanswered question.
Today, we are faced with a challenge that calls for a shift in our thinking so that humanity stops threatening its life support system.
The oceans are being assaulted by carbon dioxide, plastic and pollution, illegal fishing, and too much fishing in some places. It's huge and it's powerful and it's big, but it's fragile.
Together, citizens of the world, we will work to save our planet from ourselves.
There is a place in Baja California called Cabo Pulmo. 30 years ago, its fish populations were completely decimated. And then one brave family decided to prohibit fishing on their own reef. In a single human generation, the fish have come back spectacularly. The ocean has an extraordinary capacity to regenerate when it is protected.
We're not going to meet this challenge unless the community of nations comes together around a single, comprehensive, global ocean strategy.
Tal vez una de las más difíciles decisiones que tiene un líder es cómo equilibra las necesidades de la economía con las necesidades del medio ambiente.
Today I can announce we are taking steps to create 2 new marine sanctuaries.
The New Zealand government will establish a 620,000 square kilometre ocean sanctuary in the Kermadec region.
Kiribati has taken the decision to fully close all commercial fishing activities within the Phoenix Islands protected area.
Pour augmenter la résilience de l'océan, il faudrait lutter contre le réchauffement climatique, monter en puissance sur les énergies renouvelables, y compris les énergies renouvelables marines.
Norway will do its part to combat marine plastic waste and microplastics.
Con voluntad política, con iniciativa de los gobiernos, esto se puede hacer. No es imposible.
We know what we need to do to address the threats facing the ocean. There's nothing that we're looking at that doesn't have a solution.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Undersecretary of State, Catherine Novelli.
Well, I don't know about you, but it never gets old looking at those photos of the ocean. It's just so amazing. We had a fantastic day yesterday, and just yesterday, all of us here, heads of state, foreign ministers, civil society scientists, the private sector, made tremendous commitments that are going to last forever. And these are going to help protect and conserve our ocean, the resource that provides half the oxygen we breathe, and feeds billions of people. All of us together announced new protection for millions of square kilometers of ocean, equivalent to the size of the subcontinent of India. We pledge billions of dollars for ocean conservation, far exceeding what we've ever done before, and more commitments are going to be made today. This morning, we'll hear from our partners in the private sector and civil society and government leaders committing to work around the globe to save our ocean. We'll hear about the critical steps that need to be taken to address the perilous effects of climate change on our blue planet. And we're going to hear about innovations to combat plastic and nutrient pollution. And in fact, one of those innovations is here before you today. The furniture on the stage today is from Van de Sant and is made entirely from recycled materials, including, I'm told, the material itself is made from plastic from the ocean. So it just shows you what can be done when there's a will to innovate. Finally, we're going to hear from a panel of ocean champions who will look to the future and share their vision on where we need and plan to go to keep this momentum moving forward. And before all of that, I'd like to introduce a video message from His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, who has focused so much of his time and attention on the sustainability of our planet, its animals, and humankind, and he's been doing this long before it was popular. He will talk about the critical link between a healthy planet and successful economies and how we can take forward the blue economy. Because if we are going to succeed in our mission to save the ocean and the planet, we have to have sustainable economies married together with a sustainable environment. And work is underway to try to institutionalize that, and we hope you'll all participate. Immediately after the video by the Prince of Wales, we're going to see a video by another prince, His Serene Highness Prince Albert of Monaco, who I'm sure all of you know is a very long-standing champion of the ocean, has a deep commitment to the ocean, has done a lot to work on the issue of ocean acidification, and he's going to talk about his vision for the future of our ocean. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll start with the Prince of Wales. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was most touched to have been asked to send a message to your meeting because the health of the marine environment has been not only a preoccupation of mine for many years, but it is also crucial to our continued survival on this planet. So my only regret is that I cannot be with you in person at this year's Our Ocean Conference. Now, you will all know so very well, of course, that amongst other things, overfishing, pollution, ocean warming and progressive acidification have created a real crisis for the ocean. But, and I find this astonishing, despite the efforts of so many of you here today, this crisis seems hardly to be recognized, let alone considered an urgent priority by governments and international institutions. Therefore, I'm sure I speak for everyone in expressing my gratitude and admiration for the guidance and vision of Secretary Kerry in providing, as in so many other challenging areas, enduring and far-sighted leadership that both encourages solutions and provides for their implementation. There is no doubt that the Our Ocean conferences have become the essential catalyst to this much-needed process. While there has recently been no shortage of reasons for serious concern, including, for example, the latest severe and, I fear, catastrophic bleaching that has affected many tropical coral reefs, there is also, fortunately, an increasingly robust international framework for action, including, of course, the Paris Agreement on Climate Change and the Sustainable Development Goals. In addition, I am so pleased and heartened that many of you here today have been working with my International Sustainability Unit on the creation of a blue economy development framework that will help forge a coherent approach to dealing with the systemic effects of unprecedented investment into infrastructure, the impact of climate change, and the need to protect and build the resilience of marine and coastal ecosystems. Such an integrated approach, working across all the major agreements and frameworks, seems to me to be essential if we are to achieve our minimum goal of limiting global warming to below 1.5 degrees, while at the same time protecting and sustaining the blue economy, combating poverty, and improving food security. Behind these overarching agreements is, of course, a great deal of complexity. The job at hand now is surely to work through that with determination and in a spirit of collaboration, devising and implementing solutions that will, in decades to come, reverse the long decline that has brought us to where we are today. Ladies and gentlemen, I need hardly say that you are the people who can make this happen. You are the people who can restore the integrity of the ocean, making a huge contribution to our planet's health and our own survival. The way we treat our ocean is a fundamental test for humanity, and one we simply have to pass while there is still time. The consequences of failure are too awful to contemplate, so I hope and pray that this conference reconfirms your determination to take the decisions that will ensure the future we all want for our children and grandchildren.
Friends, regretfully, I'm unable to be among you today for this new edition of Our Ocean. This annual meeting is an important event for all of us, for those who know the importance of the seas for this planet and for humanity, for those who understand the dangers the planet faces and the little attention such dangers still raise, for those who will not resign themselves to leaving their children a ravaged planet and devastated oceans. We all need this type of event. We need to share our concerns, but also our solutions on, for example, the development of marine protected areas. We need to gain a better understanding of the diversity of situations experienced on the ocean shores, since they span across continents and know no borders. Because we all need to pool our energies to jointly save the planet and its seas. These energies produce results when they advance together. This is the strength of this conference's format, uniting participants from various horizons, regions, and worlds. Alongside other initiatives, I believe it has led to the significant changes which we have witnessed over the last few months. I'm thinking of the negotiations at last initiated within the UN concerning the high seas, which should give us new ways to understand and protect the seas. I'm thinking of COP21, organized last December in Paris, which included a session devoted to the oceans, and I'm delighted that COP22 in Marrakesh will be devoting a whole day to them. I'm also thinking of IPCC decisions to establish a special report on the oceans and their role in the climate system, for which Monaco, with the support of the United States, has been taking action for several years. And finally, I'm thinking of a Sustainable Development Goal specific to the oceans being adopted by the UN, Goal 14, which affirms the key importance of the oceans for the future of our world. These positive results, although boding well as far as humankind's capacity to evolve is concerned, cannot, however, satisfy us, because the threats hanging over the oceans are progressing at an accelerated rate, forcing us to anticipate the dangers, tailor our response, and marshal our forces. Such progress needs to be continued by mobilizing states and international organizations, by the vital work of scientists without whom nothing could be possible, and by the tenacity of all goodwill of all those who refuse to leave their children oceans emptied of their life, their richness, and their beauty. That is why the international event Our Ocean is so valuable. That is why I would have liked to be with you again this year. And above all, that is why the world needs your discussions, your energies, and your talent. It is not too late to take action, and we have the resources to do so. Let us be more determined than ever. Thank you.